Well, I will say a couple things. One, uh, streaks will happen. I'm a really streaky player myself. Right now, I'm on like a 7 game win streak, and I feel like I'm the best player of all time. And then if you look at my match history a week from now, I'll probably be on a 7 game losing streak, and I'll feel like the worst player of all time. So it's just part of the solo queue grind. Sometimes you're in winner's queue, sometimes you're in
Right.
loser's queue, right? So that's one thing. Um, you're also climbing a lot, so you're starting to play against higher players. And I didn't look at your match history, so I don't know, when you hit Plat 1, maybe you were actually playing against Diamond 3s or Diamond 4s or something like that. That's
It
also a
was it,
possibility.
it was Diamond Fours. It was mostly like Diamond Four lobby plus me as a Plat One player.
Gotcha.
You
So
know.
that's another factor. The last factor is we coached you about a month or two ago where Rakan was at like his peak form, um, like a
And he's not
54%
great
win
right
rate or
now.
something. No, he's still good. He's still like high 52%. But they did nerf him. And I think the nerf is important because it punishes people who don't play Rakan as well. So basically, the
Yeah.
direction that they went with the nerf is they gave him less armor and less health, which just basically means you're squishier, right?
Right.
Which
Yeah.
means
Yeah.
that if you're going in and you're messing up your engage, so you don't actually
You get
CC
punished
them,
harder.
you get punished
Yeah.
a lot harder. So the way that you play Rakan, we always talk about this, is you want to be able to go in and out of fights. And
Yep.
now if you're going in and not hitting anybody, there's a good chance you'll take a lot of damage and or die before you get out. So that's one thing we'll be paying attention to, is like, is that a reason you're dying a lot? Is just because you're maybe not having the best engages and you're getting punished harder than you maybe would have been punished in the past.
Right.
As for this lane, I've actually found myself playing like safer and safer these days, and I know that's not good because you don't want to just like exist in the game and then hope your team carries. You want to be able to win lane and snowball the game if possible.
Right.
But I
Trying
feel
to
like, yeah, I just try not to do too much, right? So I'm looking at this lane immediately, and I don't really see anything too threatening from either side. I think Milio and Zeri will be really, really strong later, and not the strongest early game. But I also don't see like great synergy or great like early game pressure from your side because Jinx is also like a late game champion. So I think there's going to be maybe potential to do some like trading in the early game. Maybe if you guys get a gank, you guys can turn that into a kill and start snowballing early. But for the most part, I'm not seeing anything too exciting here. I would almost expect this to be kind of a boring lane, and then maybe even look to roam and try to help out your Katarina this game. That's how I would
right.
ideally see this.
I forget what I do in this
30
game
seconds until
specifically.
minions
So
spawn.
when I spawn and I immediately go to this like kind of middle position because Katarina's
Hmm.
not going anywhere. So I'm standing in this spot so that I can either go pretty much any direction that I see someone, as long as I don't get pinched, because I'm holding my ability right now to see if I'm gonna need to, level up a W, level up an E.
Hmm.
So I'm
I
holding it
I
in the
actually
meantime, and I'm
really
waiting.
really like that actually. This is something that I think people should do on every single champion. And I didn't actually do this for like the first 12 years of playing this game or whatever it's been. But I was watching Stunt stream one time, and he
12 years. Wait, hold on.
okay,
Did you just say
not actually
12
12 years. I think it's been 10 years I've been playing this game. This game's only been out
Oh
for 13 years. I know, I'm old. But I was watching Stunt play one time late at night, and he was on Rakan, and he didn't level up an ability for the entire first level. He didn't level up anything until he hit level 2, and I was just like so baffled by why he was doing it. And I think I asked him in the chat, and he was basically just saying like, "There's no need for me to level up anything right now. Like, if you go to lane, and you start your W, then the only thing you can do is peel or engage, right? If you
I think,
right,
yeah, I think I've been doing that, like, just off of habit. Like, I hold
mm-hmm.
the ability, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna level up W because like that's what I normally do.
Exactly. Yeah, but you
Mhm.
don't actually just have to like level up W. You can just wait on it. And I think level 1 is really important for Rakan because there's a lot of things you can do, right? You want Q if you're looking to sustain, so maybe you're up against like a Xerath support or something like that, right? You're not necessarily in a position where you want to be engaging level 1 because you have a Jinx, but you want to still be useful. So maybe you take Q level 1 and you get that healing. But you also don't need to level Q if Xerath isn't poking you, right? So you might actually just be waiting in the lane, not leveling up anything, wait for Xerath to actually poke, and then level up Q. So I think this is just something I wanted to point out because it's smart that you're not leveling up anything, and it's something you
Mhm.
can implement on pretty much every single champion. If there's not an ability that you like absolutely need right away, you can just wait and be kind of reactive. Also, this is a fine spot to be standing on the map. I typically stand here, but
I wanted to as well, but Katarina wasn't moving, and typically I like to be
yeah.
in this vicinity instead.
Okay. Let's see.
Nothing's happening.
I think you're a little late to leash here, but that's okay. Happens to the best of us.
I started W, and I just use the ability. Because by the time that I hit lane, it's back up.
But so again, you have W here, which I don't know how much usage you'll get out of it. I like W level 1 if you're looking to either peel or if you're looking to go in, and I don't think we're in a position where we're going to be doing either of those. Because if you W in, Jinx doesn't have the best follow-up, doesn't have the best damage level 1. I don't see you guys accomplishing all too much, and then you're kind of stuck in the middle. I might not even like level up anything right now and just kind of wait and play it by ear, and maybe Milio goes for a trade, and then you like start to Q or something like that.
His auto attacks are fairly large, I gotta say.
They are just with that shield. That's how it's gonna be for every single support champion in the game that levels up shield level 1. Is because you're able to do damage without taking damage, but on top of that, just by using his shield, he's proccing his passive.
Right, which gives him more damage on auto attacks or something.
It gives him a little burn, yeah.
I typically ban Milio, I'll be honest, and I let him get through this game.
I think it can be a bad matchup for Rakan. You're playing in like Plat low diamond, so I actually don't know how good Milio players will be, because if he does use his Q properly,
probably mid Plat now, to be honest.
Okay,
if we're this far down. So.
Yeah, but Milio, if he's positioning properly, like standing next to his ADC, and just using his Q every time you W, you are hard countered, right? But I don't know how much respect to give this guy. Also worth mentioning here, this guy looks super out of position. You guys are about to hit 2, so that's beautiful.
Up 2, right?
Yep, that was good stuff.
Unlucky that Jinx hit the minion, but it's minion management.
Yeah, I'm gonna just watch this one more time to see if there's anything we could have done differently. I think it was beautiful that you went in right as you hit 2. He is definitely out of position. The only thing I'll nitpick here
on the minion, right?
The only thing I'll nitpick here though is like after your W, you actually walk forward and you're kind of standing on top of him right now, and just that little bit of movement is allowing Zeri to start hitting you, right? So even after your W, you're looking to position properly. So you could actually just stand here, because this isn't like an all-in angle where you want to continue standing on top of the Milio and chasing him down this way. If you position over here, Zeri can't hit you. You can still hit him. Jinx could hit him. You know, that kind of stuff.
After W repositions and not take damage. Okay.
And I do like taking E second on Rakan if you're looking to engage, just because having E makes it so that you can obviously go in and get out very easily. If you're not looking to engage as Rakan, level 2, whether that's like looking to play aggressive or looking to peel, I like Q seconds. That was good.
Say it again. So Q second
if you're not looking to go in at all. Like, if you're looking to play aggressive, you want to level up E second, because you always want to be able to go in and out, right? Or if you're looking to go in for the sake of peeling, let's say the enemy team has like a Nautilus or something, so you're afraid he's going to go in and you're going to need to be able to peel and get out, then you also want your E. Q is basically like, I don't think anything exciting is going to happen until I hit level 3. Let me just get Q because it gives us some more sustain. E is just going to be more useful if you're actually doing something in the lane. So if you expect any ganks from them or from your jungler, or if you're expecting any trading, E is good. That's why I like E second here, because you are actually going in and you want to be able to get back out. But if you don't think anything exciting is going to happen, we go Q second.
My vernacular is first blood. Cool. I'm pretty sure he gets Giga Fed in this game too. And yeah.
Just gonna let this play out, and then I'm gonna go back in and see what we could have done differently here. Okay. So the ward here, we're warding at 240, which seems fine. Between 230 and 3 minutes is typically the best time to roam, because if the jungler is doing like a standard path, then they're usually ganking around that time. I will say, I don't know who wards here between you and Jinx, but you don't actually need to go all the way over here from like where Jinx is standing. You can get this ward here.
I think we can see it. How do we? Does anyone know actually how we do this? Do you hit tab and we can see if someone places it?
So it's Jinx that drops it. She walks up a little far forward. And just to say again, you can't actually ward this right here from like right here where my cursor is. And I only know that because in a Twitch Rivals practice, Tarzan flamed me for like 20 minutes because I walked too far forward to drop this ward. So I will always drop it from here from now on.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Repeat that. You can drop a ward in the center of the brush.
No, no,
just
no, no,
like
no, no, no.
that.
I'm just saying like Jinx walks all the way up here to the point that like she's almost face checking the brush. You can stand like right here. Like you don't have to kind of wrap around this corner is what I'm saying. You can stand right here and drop this ward, and you're not really in line of sight for anybody that's still standing in this bush.
I thought you would rather have the ward in the center of the brush to cover the left side if we're on red. You know what I mean? Just a little bit more vision.
Yes, it's just a matter of like not wanting to walk up too far forward. So if you're like 100% confident, you can walk up and put this all the way in the middle of the bush. Again, I'm referencing a time where I got flamed because I walked too far forward and their jungler was sitting in this bush. So it's kind of just a piece of advice for like the future. If you're not sure where the jungler is and you're probably warding right now because you don't know where the jungler is, right? So just to be a little bit safer, you can drop it from back here. But let's see what happens here. I think this play is kind of dead. She used the zap and hit it, which is nice, but I don't really see any fight here.
I didn't. Zeri was like not like in the.
Yeah.
Like she was farming bot, and then I tried to like get in front of what's it called, Sejuani, and flash out when she flashes.
Yeah, I think the main thing here is we never want to fight just for the sake of fighting. We want to fight for like some kind of reason, and I don't see any kill angle here because you're only level 2. You have a Jinx. You don't have a whole lot of damage. Maybe even if you land the W, I don't really see anything happening. And Emilio did use his Q to break up your W, right? So I just don't think there's any real reason to go in here. But at the end of the day, it doesn't hurt all too much. You guys are down a couple sums. You guys traded heal and flash for a flash, so it's not the end of the world. Let's see. You don't have any potions. I think I'm okay with this recall. It's pushing in anyways. This is probably just a fairy charm here. What'd you do? Control ward instead? Yeah, I would have just got maybe a fairy charm there. Control ward is fine too. I like control ward. I like getting a control ward if I feel like I'm going to be roaming, because I feel like personally as a support, my control ward should be somewhere in the river, and then maybe my ADC is responsible for putting a control ward here. So you're getting a control ward and then running straight bot, right? So you're not actually going to be able to place that control ward in a spot where you want to place it. Again, nitpicking here. Fairy charm could have been nice. This wave here is pretty thick. I don't think we're looking to do anything.
Yeah, I'm not looking. I was just watching crash. Try and hit a Q, I guess, to seeing what Milio does. Okay, I didn't do anything there. Interesting.
Well, you're not level 3 yet. You don't have your Q quite yet.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Alright, here we're just helping farm. This is all fine. And then I think I'm going to speed up a little bit because this game has no action for a while. So we're just farming. And again, this is kind of how I expected this lane to go. Milio Zeri doesn't have a whole lot of early game damage. Jinx doesn't really either. I think it's fine to look for trades like that. Jinx is low on mana. Nunu's in the area. Maybe there's a gank, but it's hard to have Jinx follow up if she doesn't have mana for rockets. Okay, let's watch this. That is awkward.
I placed it there, kind of like I remembered I missed it, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna stand still and pretend to like bait it, if you will, like to be like, oh, I'm tilted, and then see if Nunu can.
Sure.
Like, and I remembered failing it and be like, okay, I failed it, but I'm going to enhance the fail by standing still. You know what I mean? Which didn't tell on Nunu.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll break this down a little bit further. The first thing I will ask actually is, do you have your ward placement on quick cast?
Yes.
Okay.
But I can aim it and I can immediately place it when it's done. I don't have to like, you know what I'm saying?
But like, let's say your ward or your trinket, right, is on 4. If you just press 4, you don't have to left click after. The ward will instantly drop, correct?
No, but the indicator will show me where it is, and I could just it drops immediately.
Okay.
In the indicator. So like, yes, but I don't have to click another button is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. So it still shows where it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
That is something
instant.
Gotcha. That is something that I personally do. I don't have mine on quick cast because I like to see, like, control the indicator a little bit.
Yeah.
So you can, they added it like a few patches ago where if you put your mouse here, It'll show
Right there,
exactly
you
the
could
bush
go
where it's
over.
supposed to go. Yeah. And
Yep,
then
really
also
cool.
the little ward icon, like where it's going to drop, it will highlight green if it's supposed to go in a bush, which I didn't know if you knew. So like if your cursor is here, the ward indicator will be gray, but if you put your mouse here, it will turn green to show that it's actually being placed in the bush. So
Yep.
those are a couple things. This happens all the time though, even with the indicator.
So I messed it up, and I'm like not moving because I did it. So this was my thought process, and I don't.
Uh huh.
And if we back it up a couple seconds,
You're like pretending to be tilted here.
yes, but Nunu pings on the way when he starts his snowball right around Scuttle. So I quickly was like, "Oh no, I have to pink it to check if
Gotcha.
something's happening." Pretend I'm tilted, and then do an all in as Nunu shows.
Gotcha. Okay, that all makes sense. That was a good engage. Zeri used her dash forward, so you went on her. That made a lot of sense. I think the issue here might be like just the Nunu snowball missing, which is kind of inexcusable. But at the end of the day, this is not a failed gank because you guys got all their summoner spells. I'm pretty happy with this. Now, the main thing that I would want you to do after this, like, okay, let me just pause here. What do you think you guys should be doing right now after that?
I want to push and roam because they're low, and maybe even set up for a dive. But I would put. Well, can you pan the camera over so I can see what the wave state is?
Oh yeah,
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry.
this wave is kind of scattered here.
8, and then 1, 2, 3, 6. Kind of. I mean, our wave is pushing anyway, so we could try and hard push it, and then try and get some more pressure on the map, or
So
try to get that dragon off, or the scuttle, or just the scuttle crab. Honestly,
So here's what I'm thinking, because you've already gotten your one recall off, which you didn't actually get ultimate, but you just got the control ward, right? Jinx is low mana. She's only level 3. She's got a lot of gold to spend. She could pick up a pickaxe or something like that, right? I think the main thing to do here, you just push them out of lane. You got all their summoner spells. I just want to push this wave in as fast as possible and then recall with my Jinx here. It's still really early in the game. You're only level 3. Nunu's pretty low. I don't think I necessarily want to go dragon here. You'd be losing tempo. I think just pushing and getting back on the map is the best case scenario. So I'm using my W on the waves here to try to push this in as hard as possible, using rogue shield procs. Oh, they stuck around. Interesting. I think Nunu just wraps back around and you guys would kill here. Which hopefully he's doing that. I can't believe this is a play by them. I would assume that they recall there.
no, he canceled my W with his
Yeah, I
Q.
saw that. Okay, still the goal is the same here though. I thought you guys would have pushed them out of lane here, but they stuck around, and now you guys just need to push this in. I'm actually a little surprised that Nunu does not stick around to help push this wave in with you, which makes it a little awkward because you knew Sejuani was in the area.
Here comes Nunu again.
Okay, so this is what I wanted to happen. Him help push the wave in. No, it's still not gonna help push the wave in. He's just like visiting, but not actually doing anything, and then leaving immediately. So the only thing you could really do differently here is just like try to use your pings, because there is like the push ping that you can use now.
I pinged it at 612. I single retreat. I'm not really doing anything else.
Okay. That took a lot longer than I would have liked it to happen after that initial play. Ideally, we're like hard pushing wave. We're asking for our jungle to help push in the wave with us, and then we resets. Yeah, you guys are greeting so much here. So I think you guys both should recall there. You have 749. But still, like, I don't understand why you guys are still on the map. Like, this is something that, I mean, a lot of ADC players will do this because ADCs, more than any other player in the game, will always greed for additional gold to get an item. Like, instead of just being happy with this 1400, he wants 1500 for some reason, right? That was a perfect timing where you guys pushed the wave in. You guys would have had your recall off before them. You would have been back on the map before them, which means you have a roam timer before Milio to go mid or potentially get vision in the river, or you can just get back to lane quicker and control the wave before they're able to control the wave themselves. So you can try to manipulate your ADC as much as you can just by pinging, and even just like body language, right? If you start your recall, maybe your ADC starts his recall too. But you guys are just staying on the map for so long here. I mean, I guess it kind of works out because now they're off tempo because Milio didn't recall and Zeri did. And now Milio's just now recalling, so they're off tempo a little bit. But still, I think just trying to get those recalls off quicker. If you see a good opportunity to, just go ahead and do it. Nasteey, will this VOD be available later? Yes, all VODs will be available on Twitch after. So again, I'm nitpicking here. Nothing really too exciting has happened, but I think just tempo and recalling anytime we see an opportunity to do so is really good. Your build here. Okay, wait. I'm a little confused. Because you had 750.
Boots Fairy Charm into Control Ward.
You still have so much gold, though. 800. This, to me, is Boots Ruby Crystal Control Ward. And that,
full boots?
No. Just
50 boot?
Yeah, the tier 1 boot, so 300 plus the Ruby Crystal, which is 400, so 700 plus the Control Ward. And that puts you at like 25 gold.
Not Fairy Charm instead.
Nah, I probably wouldn't have gone the Fairy Charm. You're always looking to spend like a...
It's pretty good though.
What was that?
I thought the mana regen was the way to go. I should be capitalizing health than mana regen.
I think it's not as far a matter of like capitalizing more on mana regen or health. I think it's just like trying to spend as much money as possible while you're in the base, and that's not always going to be the case. Like sometimes you're like, oh man, like I actually really need armor. I don't need health. Let me grab cloth, even though Ruby Crystal, even though it's a cheaper item.
How much gold is left over that I
You still have 200. You had 200 when you left base.
Interesting.
So I would have got a Ruby Crystal just because I like trying to leave base with as much money spent as possible. I don't like sitting on gold. And then here, just to nitpick, this Control Ward, just try to get it like all the way out here on the corner if you can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then here, I don't know if we've talked about this before. Oh, you don't have any wards right now. But just to echo this idea, anytime you drop a Control Ward, you typically want another ward slightly beyond it because you don't want to drop a Control Ward just for the sake of dropping it. You want to be able to drop it and protect it. So by putting this here, it gives you this vision. But if someone were to walk up and clear this, you're not going to be able to react in time because as soon as they're right here, it's too late. You're not going to be able to rotate and get it, right? So I like to drop a Control Ward here and then a Trinket Ward here, or if possible. That way, if I see someone walking this direction to clear this, we have an idea and we can potentially contest the Control Ward.
Got it.
But I know you don't have a Trinket Ward right now, so...
It's alright, but that's good. No, I needed to hear that one because I honestly didn't think about it that way.
Mm-hmm. Now here I see a couple of different things. I see Katarina coming down, so we're maybe looking to set up early. That's the Q out. Flash W here is what I would look for. Okay, so we have been kind of getting countered by this Milio all game long because he's been using his Q to stop your W, which is an expected counter, right? You said you banned Milio a lot for that reason. For once, though, he actually uses it a little early, right? He no longer has the Q. I would just flash W immediately because...
I'm pretty sure I don't have my W here. Can we check my cooldowns? I think I used it too. Oh!
I think you do have it. Yes. So by waiting, they're just getting more and more time and closer and closer to their tower, which makes it harder for us to go on them. So even though your Katarina's far away, you want to start this fight while it's still in the middle of the lane. So that's why I'm looking for a flash W here. Yeah, if we flash W and like maybe get this fight over here or something like that, maybe it goes a little bit better. But at the same time, you were also slowed, so it wasn't like going to be the easiest flash W of all time. You would have.
And Nunu was here for it too. It's a party.
All good though. We still have the flash that we can look to make a play. I think we push this and go to Dragon. That's one thing I'm noticing so far is like I'm not seeing you use your pings very well, and this is something that I have a problem of doing myself when I'm streaming because sometimes I get too distracted looking at my chat and stuff. So I don't set the best example on stream.
I think I've been too tilted to ping. Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe.
I started getting. I'm like not even kidding, Nasteey. Like, I think what happened was that I just stopped. I started going on autopilot instead of playing with intention. You know.
And that's why you messaged me on Discord the other day, and I was like, hey, you know, honestly, sometimes just taking time off the game is good, right? And I noticed you haven't been playing like all too much recently, so hopefully,
the What was my last game that I played? It was this Brand game,
Yeah.
which I loved. By the way, I loved playing Brand.
Oh,
I
I
feel
do
like
too.
I
I
feel like
wish.
I want to. He's so like. I didn't realize how easy he is. There's skill. I'm not saying that he's like the easiest champion in the world, but it's like pretty straightforward. Like land your abilities, and hopefully they die. Oh, what was that?
Okay.
Shadow Ember. Wait.
Let's watch this.
Yep, please. Hanging back. Why am I hanging back so far? He's stepping up. He uses the. Oh, unfortunate.
Okay, so I think the main thing here is when you're playing Rakan, you can make flashy plays. Oh, and you know what? Just off the top of my head, I think I made a video about this recently.
A nasty video.
Where did this? What was it? It was like common mistakes supports make or something like that. Yes.
Trying to be a hero and making flashy plays
is guilty.
instead of just
Yes.
doing the direct path.
So I'm gonna link this for anybody who's watching in the stream that wants to check that out. I don't know if you've watched this one already, but I was really critical of Ayla, who was the support player for FlyQuest, because in the playoffs he was playing Rakan and he kept just like flash ulting every single opportunity he had, even when it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
so
I think I did.
I feel like
no, I didn't watch this video.
I feel like here we want to make a play, and so you just like use everything possible to try to secure it when you're actually overcomplicating things, and we actually mess up the play as a result. I think knowing Milio has no sums.
Walked up, right?
Yeah,
just walked.
So you can walk up for one thing, but there is like a deceiving way to approach this too. As Rakan specifically, if you're all the way back here, they don't think that there's any threat, right? But the second that you E to your Jinx, all of a sudden you're closer, right? And now you're threatening that engage. You can even do this more commonly if you have like a Xayah on your team. Because if Xayah's here...
The distance is so far.
Exactly. You could be all the way back here, they don't expect an engage, and then you jump to him. So you could walk up. That is one thing. You could also just E to your Jinx. I think Milio has Q right now. We know he has no sums, but he does have that Q, so that's the only thing we're concerned about right now.
He's about to have his sums. I think I'm just unlucky. Look at this.
Yeah. Some sums aren't up yet, but he just uses Q too. So we know this is pretty free. I honestly think, like, you ult, you jump to your Jinx, and then you just walk into the Zeri. That seems pretty simple here.
Instead of going on the Milio.
I mean, you could still go on Milio too, because at this point, Zeri was walking backwards while Milio wasn't. But even, like, if we look at your flash range, this little yellow poop where you flash from, that's like damn near in the range of your W. Like, you don't even need to flash here. You could probably just continue to walk him for half a second longer than W him. So I think we're just trying to do a little too much. Also, the reason you go too far here, if I had to guess, were you playing on lock screen? Do you play on lock screen a lot?
I do when I need to. It's not lock screen. I move my camera around, but I often tap spacebar to recenter myself, and I just do that right before I'm about to, like, well, I can't say what this moment is, but I do zero in on myself a lot.
Okay. Yeah, I will say this is a common mistake that I see when people are playing on lock screen, just because as soon as you flash, like, obviously your screen is moving over a little bit, so your perception on where you're supposed to use your W changes right after you flash, so you just like kind of go too far forward. Whereas if you're on a non-lock screen, the positioning isn't going to change, so you can just continue to put your W on the Milio, and it's still going to be on him after you use your flash, right? So those are a couple things I would point out here. One, just trying to do too much. As Rakan, and I always like to give this example, like, just try to simplify things. So if you're playing Blitzcrank, there's no need to hook when you can just use your E first and then guarantee the Q. If you're playing Thresh, there's no need to Q first if you're already in range for your E. You can E first, and then it makes it easier for you to land your Q. If you're playing Rakan, you don't need to like flash in like this. If you know he has no sums, he has no Q, he has no way of stopping you, just run right at him with your charm until you're on top of him. Run through him, charm him, and then W. It just makes it a lot simpler. And sometimes you'll be patient. You'll be holding your W, waiting and running at them, and then they'll use their mobility spell, and then they'll use their flash, and then you can still jump on them, right? So just be patient here. I think later stages of the game, you won't be able to have this opportunity to just like be patient and run at them. Like if a team fight breaks out, the second the enemy team sees Rakan use his ulti, they're all going to get really scared and back out, right? So you can't just like run at them slowly and wait for the right opportunity to engage. But situations like this, where it's really dumbed down and simple, it's literally just a 2v3 here. Just walk at them. You're trying to do too much here. Now Sejuani's here. At this point, this is like, this is lost. I'm just running.
Like out.
Yep.
Right. I remember when you told me, we're winning, we're losing.
Exactly.
Like that whole mentality. So I was like, all right, well, we have 4 here, so that was a failed engage.
Exactly.
Now, this is when things get dicey.
This all looks fine to me so far. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
All right, cool.
I do want to nitpick a little bit here because I want to see how you use your abilities. I know that they're all just like coming up a beat. Look, what I'm thinking here is EW immediately, right? And I think you have it. Because he is low HP, so he's so close to dying here.
I could have combined that. Yeah, like.
Yeah, one after another. There's a little bit of a delay here. And then, so ideally the combo here, I don't even think you need to mix in auto attacks right away. It's EW, so you're getting to him as quick as possible. You're shielding him. You're getting the CC off as quick as possible. While he's in the air, it allows you to land your Q, which gets the heal off for free. And then you probably use another shield to make sure you're on top of your Katarina applying that heal. So that's like the combo that you would do here. It's just a little slow, but it works out. So no complaints here. This is done. This is done. Okay. Push. And then again, it's the new ping that you can use here.
Yep.
What is this?
What am I doing? What am I doing?
And this is a little late now, so I think we could have got this wave all the way pushed in, and now it's going to be here. So again, this is a common mistake that we're starting to notice, right? Is not pushing, not keeping good tempo, and staying on the map too long. So just that little roam that you did there, just to keep an eye on Katarina, even though in the moment might not have seemed like a big deal, you not being here to help push this wave didn't get it pushed in quick enough, and now the wave, instead of being under their tower, is here. So now you guys are forced to stay for another wave. And hopefully Sejuani doesn't show up and kill you guys because you guys are still sitting on a bunch of gold, right? Works out. We're happy. But I will always point out these things, even when nothing does go wrong.
Better players are going to capitalize on this.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, here she comes. Yeah. All right.
Okay, I think we're kind of wrapping up the lane phase here, so we'll start to speed forward. I think we've been doing this for like 30 minutes already, and we're only 11 minutes into the game, so I always spend a lot of time on the lane phase.
This happened last time, but
yep.
Nasteey, this happened last time too, and it's super fine.
I think it's just easier to like nitpick small things in the lane phase because it's just like a lot slower, and team fights can be a little chaotic.
Yeah, but it's good because that can.
Okay, so here, my thought process is let's just push this wave and then back out because bot side is weak side right now. Yeah, Nunu's getting rift for you guys. Weak.
Yeah, there's four potentially here. So why are we walking up?
I don't know. And again, body language is everything, right? So you walking forward as Rakan, even though this is not a play I agree with, you're still safe, right? But because you're doing this, look who's following you, and Jinx does not have the mobility that you have. And so you use all of your mobility and you live. Does Jinx live? Maybe, but still, I don't think we need to be here. And even here, going back to what I was saying earlier about like it's losing. You use your W here for the sake of like, I don't know, for peeling maybe. You could just W over the wall though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just a bad play, I think, in general. I don't think we should be here. We turn what is potentially like an even trade or even a winning trade for your team, trading Rift for Dragon, depending on the usage of the Rift Herald, I think it's actually a winning play for you guys. But since you guys walk over and contest this, you guys lose all your sums and set yourself behind. So I
Wait,
say
what are
this.
what are we doing there? Like I'm
Yes,
like now I'm looking at it like what are we doing there? Like what's the
exactly.
purpose? Like
And
are we gonna kill 4 people right now? Like I don't think
exactly.
so.
And I'm glad that you say that because I tell this to people all the time who are like looking to improve. Like one of
Look
the
your
best
VOD,
things you
look
could
at
do.
your VOD.
Exactly.
Everyone that's listening right now.
Just
Look at
watch your
them.
own replays because in the moment you don't realize how like dumb of a play you're making until you go back and like I don't even need to sit here and tell you that this is a bad play. You yourself are like, what am I doing, right? So that's just a message to everybody out there who's looking to improve. Just watch your own replays and you'll be surprised like how much you're able to learn from your own mistakes. And I also go ahead.
Could I add something to that?
Yeah, sure.
I think that it's important though that if you have a friend, if you have someone that you play with often, if you have a coach like Nasteey, for example, who is a higher elo than you, like put your ego aside and have them sit in a call with you and have them point out these things because like I believe that I've watched some of my VODs, but I've been so like blind to it because I've been either tilted or angry or like what have you. But when I sit next to Nasteey's pretty much Nasteey is the only person that I've ever gotten the coaching from, and he has the experience, he has the knowledge, he's higher elo than me. Like he's there to help me see the things, and I'm also calm at this moment because I just like worked today. So it really helps to find someone who can help you open your eyes.
Yeah, and I think it is
go
important to
to Nasteey's coachings.
Yeah, and I do think it's important. You said like even if you have like a friend that's a higher ranked player, like everybody has different experiences playing this game and like different skill levels and understanding of champions and matchups and stuff like that. So just getting like a different perspective on the game is always pretty helpful. I was also going to say, if I can remember, don't remember. Maybe it'll come back to me. What's happening here? 2v4.
We're recalling.
Oh, yes. I was saying yesterday. No, I forget already. It's going to come back. It's right there. It was right there.
I was saying yesterday.
I did say something yesterday. That's
something about talking with people that are better than you, getting coaching.
No, it's okay. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me.
I'm trying to feed you the answers, my friend. Sorry.
All good.
What's happening there? Can I help it out?
You kind of chose the ward over this gank, it looks like. Oh, I like the charm. Oh, ooh. Looks like
we're losing.
Yes, it looks like
we're winning.
We got our priority mixed up a little bit. So this ward looks very juicy, right? And it looks like your idea is let me clear the ward and then I'll get here. You just have to understand, Nunu is
already channeling that snowball. He's going for it.
He's on a one-way street right now, and so I think honestly, if you are here, like if you're following
if I
up,
literally just walk with him, I EW
right here. Like if you W him right after this knockup, is that enough CC already just to kill him? I don't know, maybe.
If Katarina went in and did the oh my God,
it was just a really good shuffle.
That's a good shuffle.
Yeah.
Like I can't be mad.
Priorities got a little mixed up there, so maybe that little bit of a difference could have helped. Yikes. Okay. So I think the execution was actually pretty good. It was just like the decision making to get there was kind of the issue there.
Yep.
Okay, let's see. Pretty good vision in the river. Nothing going on here. No dragon or rift herald for anything or anytime soon. Good heal. Let me go back and see like how this all started. I can also look at tab real quick and see neither ADC is on a full item, so this should be pretty even. Is this just Zeri doing
We're losing. Yeah.
I guess it's just Zeri doing Zeri things. I honestly do not know. I think it's just Zeri doing Zeri things.
I don't know what to say. Can we watch this one more time?
I really don't know how she's able to just run at you and kill you guys.
Like, misses the W. I get it. I'm not looking. She puts down the trap. Okay, cool. Milio's now here. I'm gonna throw a Q out to heal Jinx, right? It's my thought process. She's still getting on it. She dashed forward. I could have W'd, but then she ults, and that's what I go in because I know that that was gonna probably happen. And then I walk.
I honestly
That's
just think this is Zeri and Milio versus Jinx Rakan. I think that's about how I would expect it to go. I wasn't expecting
it feels
to
really
play out
strong.
that way.
I've seen this. I've seen this before. It looks strong. Zeri is an interesting champion.
I think these are just two champions that synergize really well together, and you guys do not. I think Rakan is good with Jinx in the sense that it's a good champion to keep her alive, because you have the really good peel for a champion that doesn't have a whole lot of mobility. Yeah. But as far as like being able to play aggressive and look for kills together, not really, right? You can follow up with the new gank, but I don't see you guys doing anything together.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's something I would more so nitpick, like your Jinx, because she was like kind of fighting for no reason. Yeah. But I think you did a good job healing. You did everything you could have done there. I would have played it the same way.
Right now.
62. Also, control wards in the dragon pit, I don't like putting them there unless the dragon is like right about to spawn, because we have to think like our vision is supposed to give us information. A control word in the dragon is going to tell them.
It?
Yeah, you just put this here.
Right. So you're saying don't preset a control ward in dragon until like you're about to start it. Or something.
Because we use vision to give us information, right? If dragon is not even up yet, we don't need that information that they're not on dragon, right? That's a given. If dragon isn't up, they can't be on dragon, so we don't need our wards to give us that information. Instead, I'd rather have my control ward somewhere like here in this bush or this bush, and that will tell us, okay, they are heading towards dragon, and that's all the information I need, right? So I'd rather use it over here somewhere.
And I'm just getting deep vision.
And this is spooky, though, right? Why is it spooky?
Because I don't know where. There's literally no one on the map.
There's literally nobody on the map.
None.
This is
none. I'm ready for League of Legends jump scare, everyone.
But I love this.
I'm lucky.
This is really good word placement.
But I'm confident on Rakan. Like, do I have ult here? I think I have ult. I have flash, and I have W.
Yes.
Yes. Is that very risky just for warding?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I shouldn't use all those things, but I'm pretty confident in my Rakan at this point.
Yes.
That I can get out of a tricky situation if one arises.
Sure. I think that's a good thing to point out. Like, as Rakan, you could do that. It's not something you could do if you're playing like Milio, right? Also, it's so early into the game that even if you did run into someone, you'd probably be fine. This is not something you'd probably want to do 25 minutes or later into the game if the map's dark, because you'll get blown up. And then I also will say great ward spots. I would have maybe put this right here on the corner, because see how this is only giving us vision here? If we put this on the corner, it gives us vision of this intersection. So we'll know when he's going this direction. We'll know when he's on red, right? So placement for your wards is really, really important, because it's a good spot. We want this bush, but we don't want information here. We want information here, which is dark right now for us. And then also, this bush, for whatever reason, people hardly ever walk into this bush. So if you already knew back here that your plan was to go up and get vision, I would have actually put my control ward here, because you would be surprised if you're able to sneak a control ward right here. It can last here for so damn long. So I would have liked to...
What is the opposite side for us, like on my team? Like if we're blue and we're red there, okay. And putting it on the left corner of that bush right
here,
there?
This corner here. Because it gives us, again, it gives us information of 2 of their jungle camps. We'll know if they're on red, and we'll see them walking towards here, or walking from there, right?
People hardly ward that bush, these bushes.
People hardly walk in this bush, right? Because if you're here, you just walk here. You don't have any reason to go in the bush. Here, there's usually a blast cone, so you don't walk through the bush, you blast cone over, right? Or if you're walking this way, you just walk through this bush. Nobody ever checks this bush. I have no idea why. Even in my elo, there's no reason to ever go in this bush.
So, okay. All right.
But yes, I really like the vision here. And now you guys can play super, super safe. The only way that Sejuani can come is through lane. I don't really see anything here. I don't know why Nunu went for this, but now we're just in peel mode for the most part. We're looking to keep him alive. That's pretty good. I wouldn't have used ulti there just because I think we've already done our job healing. Like, I think we're out, and also we don't have an all-in angle, right?
Okay. You didn't think that it was good to just, like, scare him off?
No, because, again, here, I think this is a bad play by Nunu, and now our responsibility is like, okay, Nunu went 2 balls deep. I just want to get him out of here, but I don't want to have to waste anything. So the W here is actually really good. You jump to him to make this W easier. We land the W. I think we're just out. I think we're just already out. I think we could just walk away, or if we have one more usage of our jump, we can jump away. I think we're fine. So I think, again, just trying to do a little too much here. There is, like the saying, better to be safe than sorry, so you could also look at it that way. But I think it just comes with, like, understanding your champion and understanding your capabilities. I think you guys were both safe to walk out there, especially since it is tank Nunu as well, right? It's not AP Nunu. If that's AP Nunu, yeah, maybe you're worried about him getting one shot here. So all these little things are adding up, right? Whether it be like trying to do too much in the lane phase where we had this like flash W play, or hitting the ward here instead of walking over. You know, this ward just being a little bit off, knowing your limitations and not ulting here. Also, like in the lane phase, like not pushing and keeping tempo, how we walked over to save the Katarina that stalled us one wave longer than we wanted to stick around, right? Little things make a difference. And I do just want to say this, like, all these little things doesn't mean like, oh, the reason you lost this game is because of these little mistakes that you're making. Because if we were to do this exact same thing, but look at all your teammates, well, I'm saying if we looked at all your teammates, they're probably making little mistakes as well, right? It's not like, oh, all these little mistakes you're making are the reason you lost the game. It's just like, these are little things that you can do better that might help your team overall. But everybody's making these mistakes, so don't feel like I'm saying, oh, these mistakes are the reason you guys lost.
Okay.
Even things like, just off of recent memory, like Nunu going for this play here, right? Bad play by Nunu, little mistake. Lane assignments are kind of all messed up right now. I don't know why Jinx and Katarina are together. And Renekton died. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know what's going on this lane or this game, because Renekton's super fed, but he just got solo killed or something. And then Katarina is sitting with the Jinx. We won't dive into that too much though, because that was not in your control. And I don't like this play either. Again, this is a play made by Nunu here, but it's tank Nunu, and you're a Rakan. So what damage do we have here, right? Like, I understand Milio's a squishy champion and Zeri's half HP, but Milio is going to keep Zeri alive.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't see anything here.
E and W. I didn't, also, I just found out, like, recently that Milio's W heals. I did not know that. I thought it just granted range. No, it heals too.
I would like to pretend that I knew that information, and I did not.
Oh.
That is good to know.
Oh. Yeah, Milio's W heals very little, but it does.
Oh, nice. We got the flash out. This is all good stuff. You guys just do negative damage.
No damage.
You guys just do negative damage.
Zero. Nothing.
This just comes with knowing your limitations as a champion, and that's not like super helpful information, but it's basically just like.
Tab? I thought he was AP.
Nope, he's going tank. It's just one of those things where it's like, you just gotta play the game a lot in order to know exactly what champions do and what they're capable of doing. But worthy of noting now, your last 2 ultis have not had the best usages, right? So people are, we used it here, didn't get anything out of it, and now a dragon fight is breaking out, and we don't have our ulti. Yeah, this Azir is having a field day. So I wonder what the thought process is here. You guys shoved out their bot lane, so maybe you guys just think you can do it.
Yeah, and then there's a TP that happens behind us that I didn't even know.
Yep. Nobody sees that on your team.
No. And then Fiora's already on everyone, but then we're okay. But it's Sejuani's in here, and then I'm just on heal mode.
Yeah, this is still just losing here, especially you guys don't have Renekton. I think that this boils down to not seeing the Fiora TP, not responding to it, because not a single person on your team pinged it. So you guys thought, okay, Fiora's not here.
Did we see it? Yeah, we saw it happen.
It was on the map, yeah. I think this is just like, okay, we pushed their bot lane out. Fiora's not here. Let's do Dragon 4v2. But you guys are low on mana. You just use your ultis. It's now TP'd in. Renekton has no way of getting here. And so I think this just boils down to not seeing the TP. So again, using your pings can make a big difference. And that's not to say that as a support you have to ping every single TP. But you just can't ever make assumptions in this game. Just because you have an idea of what's going on, and I don't even know if you saw this, but like let's say you did see the TP, you can't make the assumption that your teammates see it and that they know how to respond. You have to always treat your teammates, like children.
Awful. Okay. Well, I work with children, so.
Perfect.
But I work with high schoolers, so they're a little bit.
They're still children.
They are still children. I mean, Nasteey, you just graduated high school last year, right?
Yeah. Let's go with that.
I'm very much kidding. You've been at it for a while now.
Yeah, I graduated 2020 from college.
Yeah, that's a long time.
We're getting old.
Yeah, that's the gray hair on your chin.
Okay, this game, you guys are only 3k down. It's definitely still winnable. Let's watch this.
I'm desperate.
Yeah,
I'm desperate. This is what happens. I think that, yeah.
Let's see if this is another example of trying to do too much. I will say, if you see a situation like this, where you want to get to this fight as soon as possible because someone's low, ulti early on, because your ulti, it's going to give you movement speed for a while, right? It's not like you only get it for a second and then it runs out. So use it really early, especially if you have Shurelya's, which you don't have it yet. If you're really far away, it's okay to ult and use Shurelya's early because you want to get to this fight as soon as possible. That will get you close enough to use your E and then Charm and then W. So you use it here, that's fine.
I flash E to get onto Katarina to try and save her, and it just failed. So now this is we're losing.
Yeah. Flash
so
E.
She goes back in. She starts to do her ult. Oh, she gets stunned. Flash E. Charm. W, but the W of Sejuani kills Katarina, which I should have E'd twice on Katarina to possibly save her, but I don't know if that even would.
I was thinking maybe do we just flash W here, but I think Sejuani's W goes off here. So even though you charm her here, you would think she can't do any more damage, but the W animation is still going off. So I don't think it mattered if you flash W or flash E or whatever here. I think she probably still dies. But now it's just losing. Right now we're out of here. And also, you mentioned using both E's on her. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, just because you always want to have a second E to get out. I don't see any immediate threat here, so maybe it's okay to use both E's and stay in the middle of the fight. But for future reference, don't feel like if you have to save someone, you have to use both E's on them. Because if it's like a big team fight later in the game and you use both charges, you're now stuck in the middle, right? Which you don't want to do. This Sejuani is just really strong, huh? Only 2 kills? What? And it just seems like you're so often fighting with your Nunu, and you guys just don't do any damage together.
Nope.
Oh, from downtown?
Why are you watching that? You're like, this game is so boring that I'm gonna watch the Jinx rocket go from one side of the map all the way in T-spawn.
Okay, let's see. I mean, you definitely still have some people who have some late game damage, so it's winnable in that sense, but the fact that they have a Zeri and a Zir makes it very difficult because they also have late game too. So I think playing with Vision and trying to get a pick is going to be like the most important thing right now. You're jumping out. Even here, like again, nitpicking every little thing when it comes to using your pings. Ping like assistance or on my way or something because you know that you need to jump out to your ADC, but I have played too much Rakan to know that ADCs do not always let you jump to them. So try to ping. Give them an idea of what you're trying to accomplish.
And she does.
Yeah, zero use flash there, though. I'm not gonna lie, if I was in this game, I would think it's pretty doomed at this point. But we will continue to nitpick any little thing that we can.
But the thing is that I just feel like I'm playing worse when I see people not, when I'm not being successful.
Feel like you're playing worse when you're not being successful. Try to elaborate. What do you mean by that?
I play worse when things don't go according to plan.
Yeah.
So I don't see us winning when I don't feel like we're like getting things accomplished.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's a mindset thing. Like, I've been tilting a lot recently myself. So I streamed the other day, and I said, like, right at the start of my stream, like, today my goal is to just like focus on improving. I'm gonna be tilt proof. I'm gonna try to see the game clearly, and just try to learn. So I think right now, beautiful. I think right now you were just like in the middle of this like insane grind, and you're like playing the game at like a really intense level, so maybe that's why you're getting a little frustrated or a little tilted. So I think taking a couple of days off and like trying to see the bigger picture is important. I always think that the most important thing is if you lose, learn from the loss, right? So even a situation like this, like if I'm in this position, I'm like, okay, this game is lost, right? You could have the mindset of this game is lost, I'm wasting my time, I feel like I'm not playing well, like what are we doing here? Instead of having that mentality, go, okay, this game is lost, but how can I use the remainder of my time in this game to learn and try to get better, right? Every second that you spend in the game can be a learning experience, right? So whether that be practicing your champion mechanics or your capabilities, or what the other enemy champions do, specifically and how they counter your champion, like there's always room to learn. And I will also say, this season specifically, I have seen some insane throws, like games that there's no chance they should ever be winnable, and they are. I lost a game the other day where we were up 13,000 gold 20 minutes into the game, and we lost. It's like it happens. Wow. Okay, because I guess it's important to say too, like you're saying, oh, I feel like you're playing worse when you're in these games and you're just like losing, right? You have to also realize that the enemy team is probably experiencing something similar, because when you're losing, you lose motivation, but when you're winning too much, you lose focus, right? You start messing around with your builds or limit testing a little bit, and I feel like that's where a lot of the throws come in this season, because people just aren't as focused. So keep that in mind. Maybe that'll give a little bit of hope when you find yourself in situations like this.
I put that out. I like that a lot. I think I'm gonna take away that. I mean, like I think that's like also like a good learning lesson too. Like,
yeah,
things are not going like just for life. Like things are not going your way. Things are not going well. How can you still find the light in it all?
Yeah, and I think it's important to like look at the big picture. Like, you know what? Let's watch this play real quick. This is really tricky.
Slow in the ulti.
Hey, that was better.
I guess I was trying to bait out the Fiora W.
Yes, but that's, even though you were just doing this in this specific instance to bait out the W, like that's what we always want to do. Like even if it's even if it's not a Fiora, it's it's probably like a 2v1 situation because everybody else is like topside right now. So just don't force it, right? If you W in really early and she dashes away or flashes away, then the fight's over, right? But if you know that it's isolated, you can play it slow and play it patient and just run through her. And that applies for people that aren't Fiora as well. Beautiful. Renekton is trying his hardest to get himself killed here, though. They're just playing at like the edge of the tower.
I shouldn't have done it. We're losing. Do you see it?
I think this play as a whole was actually a bad play to go for, but I understand the desperation and why you guys went for it.
Do you see the mental? Gone.
Yeah.
crumbled, crushed beneath
Well,
my
I will share just a little bit more about kind of what we were talking about earlier about like not tilting and stuff like that. I found myself a lot of times when I'm in a game.
Right?
We all tilt, yeah. But like I found myself in situations where it's like I was really tilted. Like I feel like flaming my teammates. I feel like I don't know, just being really pissed off at the world, right? And then like a week will go by, and I'll ask myself like, why did that even matter in the big picture, right? Like if you tried to ask me a week later, like I wouldn't remember who I was playing against, what the situation was. Like obviously it wasn't that important to the point that like I won't remember it a week from now. So why am I so worked up about something right now in the moment that will not matter a week from now? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we just get a little too wrapped up in the moment. And that's a mindset I've tried to have like my whole life. Kind of digressing here, but it was I was in Little League baseball. I was literally like 8 years old, and we lost like the T-ball championships or something like that. And I cried after the game, and my dad was my coach. And he was like, "Why are you crying?" And I was like, "We just lost the championship." He's like, "I promise you, this game is not like it's not going to be that important to you a year from now. I promise you." Is like you're so worked up over something right now that will not matter in the future. This is just a game. Like remember that. And literally a year later, we made it back to the championship. And he was like, "What was the score of last year's game?" And I was like, "I don't know. Why?" He's like, "I told you that it wasn't going to matter." Right? Like we get so worked up about things in the moment. Like to use that same example, you might be 0-7 and really tilted in your game and losing, and it might feel big in that moment, but a week from then it won't be all that important, right? So it's hard to do it in the moment, but trying to reflect and like look at the bigger picture and realize like, okay, let me try to calm myself down and realize that this is a video game at the end of the day, and it's not worth, me working myself up over it. Okay, we're doing a little hold the base here. And if I had to guess, that's kind of how the rest of this game plays out. We're already over an hour into this VOD review, so I'm going to start speeding through and see if we can find any more big team fights or anything that we can nitpick, but we'll try to get this over with and move on into the one-on-one session.
Yeah.
All right, we're sprinting in. We watched this in like 4x speed, but it looked like a good combo when I saw it initially. This Sejuani is just huge. Good W, I like it.
And out.
Again, just to nitpick even a little bit here, because we don't want to get ourselves into bad habits. You E forward, right? You W, you land the two-man knock-up. In a situation like that, if I land the knock-up, I maybe use one auto attack, I use my Q, maybe one auto attack, and then I'm getting out right away, right? But you actually stay in this fight a little longer than that. And again, nitpicking, it's like milliseconds here.
No, but it's really important because maybe that is what's happening. I'm not chaining my abilities. Boom, hit. Do I have my other E up?
You have your E up. So after this W goes up, I would Q and immediately jump back out. That's what I'm doing here. But like we're still standing, right? We auto attack maybe once or twice.
I went to tank though. I went to Jinx, not Nuna, the one that's like really low.
I mean, to be fair, like I know when I play Rakan a lot, like I'll go in and I want to get out, right? The whole idea when you play Rakan is go in, go out, go in, go out. So sometimes I'll just click on the first person that I see that I can jump out to. And that's obviously not the best thing to do, because in a situation like that where you can see, okay, I use my Q for a heal, I need to jump out to Nunu because he's lower HP and I want to give him the heal. You want to be able to think like that, but I understand. In the moment, if you go in, you just need to jump out immediately, so maybe you click on the first person you see, and maybe that's the Jinx. And I don't think it mattered all too much there because you ended up living, right? But again, don't want to make these bad habits. So into a habit of going in, going out, we're kind of looking at the team fight, seeing how we're going to play it. As soon as our cooldowns are back up, we go back in. I'm actually pretty surprised you guys stay in this game as long as you do, because this game is pretty over at this point. They're up 9k. I think you guys are kind of in this game still because they haven't really been playing the map all too well. They've been going down mid over and over. Now they're finally going bot. Okay, fight's breaking out under the Azir tower. You're wrapping around. Ulti early, I like that. Oh! Okay, let's watch this back, because that looked really cool.
Again, I can go for flashy plays, but it's not conducive to what we need.
So let me ask you this. Why do we use flash here? We want to flash to get to a play quicker because we need it to happen quickly. But in this moment, I don't see anything that needs to happen immediately, right? It's not like Renekton is about to die like before when you flash on the Katarina. It was because, oh, I need to get there right now or else she might die. She ended up dying, but that was the thought process, right? Or maybe sometimes you flash in because like they're all grouped up or my Nunu's coming with the snowball. Like, I have to engage right now. This just seems like you're being a second too impatient and flashing in just to get here a second early when I don't know if that second actually makes a difference in this exact moment, right? Because let's look at the distance you closed here with your flash. That's literally like less than a second of you walking if you're proccing Shirelia's and your ulti, right? So just because you can do it doesn't mean that we should do it. But I will say, as far as the combo, it was good. Jumping in and then the knockup here was really good. And then we jump out. That was well played. The only thing I didn't like there was flashing in because I don't think there was a need to use flash there. We did it just to do it. But I did like the combo itself. Hey, you guys hold the base for so long this game. Actually, you know what? Looks like Fiora just lives here. Okay, so what could we have done here? Looks like your cooldowns. I think you just ulti here. I think this is a bit of a greedy play. I don't know. I understand why you wouldn't ult because she just looks dead here, right? Like if we pause right here, she looks dead.
It's Fiora and her healing and passive, which is bullshit.
You could ult. The other thing is just using your E here to close the gap first, right? If you E first and then W, I think she just dies.
Dodger's done, and they're walking around her.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunate. So, a couple things here. One, I guess just better to be safe than sorry. She still dies, but better to be safe than sorry, I guess. Just ulting early. Again, looking at that freeze frame, I understand why you didn't, but then also jumping to the Katarina first. We always want to jump first to close the gap if possible. Especially in these plays where like someone is isolated, we could afford to play, or yeah, we're able to play fights a lot slower and a lot more patient as Rakan compared to like big team fights where if it's just like an ARAM and it's a 5v5 and everybody's just staring at each other, we can't be slow because people will see, you know, if you start your ulti up, they'll be able to react in time, right? We gotta pull the trigger quick on those.
Good start to the fight, so do you want to use the ult?
Yeah. Even here, again, you stayed in the fight a little bit, so you're chunked a little bit. I think if you just W, Q, jump out, just try to get into a habit of that. You want to mix in these auto attacks and stay close in the fight if it's like a 2v2 in the early game, and like every auto attack is going to make a big difference. But these later game fights, like your auto attacks on the Sejuani don't mean anything in the big picture. You're actually just burning down from her items. So you take a little bit of damage here, even though you just went into peel because you're staying in the fight a little bit too long.
Jinx's lethal tempo is about to be up, no?
Jinx, you said?
Yeah, Jinx's lethal tempo. She was stacking on Sejuani.
Oh, yeah. Even here, like, I think this is why they don't end the game for so long. They're just going mid. They're not playing off of mid or bot at all. And so here, there's nothing to fight for here. So I'm happy to see that you're not engaging out here. We want to fight over these towers or maybe our inhib towers. Okay, kind of split focus here. We're on the Sejuani. They're fighting top, but you're holding the base. This all makes sense. I don't love the ulti here just because I don't. Again, there was a situation earlier. I think it was here or something like that where we ulted to keep Nunu alive, but there wasn't any immediate threat. I think you guys could have walked away. And in here, I think it's a similar situation. I don't actually see any like immediate thing that is threatening you guys, other than like the presence of Sejuani here. Maybe you're worried her ulti's coming back up or something. So we're healing up. They won the fight topside though. Here it's 44. I'm probably just looking to force something. Like I'm just thinking the game's pretty much over. I don't want to let them take the whole base. Let's just look for something. Nice combo actually. So we don't have ulti, but you're still able to make a good combo here. So what is this? Jump, W, 2-man knockup. That was really good. And you jumped back out immediately. I love that. See how healthy you are this time around? You didn't use any auto attacks. You just went in, went out, and then you're like patiently waiting in the back for your cooldowns to come back up. Which, if the fight continued, they're going to be up in a second, right? So that was really good. What happens here? Good combo, I like it. Now that's a situation where like maybe you don't know what sum she has, maybe you're worried about her going over the wall. So let's just run like combo right away. Let's not play it slowly. Because here you have like the element of surprise. So you don't want to like charm and then walk at her slowly and let her dash over the wall. You just want to go in immediately. Okay, so we're trying to deny soul here, which I think we will do. I think your whole team's probably sitting on a lot of gold here, though, so I don't actually like the idea of fighting. That's fine. We went out. We tried to peel. Didn't work out. We get out. Now we're pinging. Go. Leave, 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 leave. I wonder if you guys had reacted quicker. Like, looking at this freeze frame, can't you guys just run out and get out, you know?
Yeah, we're good.
Ping, 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 leave, 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 leave. You gotta turn around for a W, turn around for a Q. Gives a 0 and angle in. Good peel, though. Nice, good stuff. This was actually really well played.
It was very ballsy, though. Because this could have killed me. And Leandris is burning me right now. I luckily just hit that. And then get the Q heal off.
That was huge. That was really well played.
It worked.
Okay. I feel like there's got to be one more team fight left. Yeah, I'm going to fast forward because it does look like there's one more fight that ends this game. I do think this just goes to show, though, like how winnable these games are. Because even though you guys lose this game, you guys stalled for such a long time. My main problem here, like this is the sad part about all of this, is you guys have stalled, you guys have held the base for so long, you denied soul, you were down 10,000 or 11,000, now you're only down 6,000. Your only goal is to just continue to hold the base. There's nothing up right now, Baron's not up yet, and then we die because people are fighting over a red buff. You know?
Well, Flash is your ult.
Yeah, I think right here, game's already over. It doesn't matter what you do here, game is over.
Connecting solo kill.
Yeah, that was a good play. The only thing you maybe could have done differently is just W the Azir to continue to lock him down instead of going for the multi-man knockup, but I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer there. Not a whole lot you could do there. You were probably in base buying something, and then your team dies over a red buff. So that's a little bit of a heartbreaker that you guys were just like stalling this game out for as long as you guys were, and then to lose it over a red buff kind of sucks. But I think we pointed out quite a few things that we can work on. so we can jump into the
Yeah.
one-on-one session and try to apply a lot of those concepts.